Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm
So
good.
since we met last, it's still hot. Is that even a joke?
No,
That's
no,
not a joke anymore.
It's hot.
Yeah.
But it's sunny. It's other places it's cold. So yeah.
Okay, that's a good way to look
yeah.
at it, right?
Positive
So
thinking.
I think let's stick to real estate. I think that
Yeah.
our discussions should be more about real estate.
Yes. So yeah, actually last time we ended the discussion, or we started the discussion, and you mentioned a point which was very important to buyers who are looking to purchase property in Dubai. We went over a little bit on, the first step would be to actually find out your DNA, what is it you would like to do, what is it, how much you can afford, and then balance these two with what is your needs, what you actually need, you cannot do without. You mentioned, first point was whether one of the first decisions you have to make is whether you want to buy a ready property or something off plan from a developer.
Yes.
Hiba, can you give us some tips on what to look for if you're buying, let's say, off plan?
Absolutely. I mean, to be honest with you, this is, a great topic that I think we need to address it. I think at this point, a lot of people are aware in terms of what questions they should ask when buying off-plan, but we can never, again, be too safe or assume that everybody has the same level of awareness. Again, I'm not going to get into which one would be a better investment for you, because at the end of the day, it really depends on what you desire. So once we cover that, if we look at off-plan, one of the main things you need to consider is the developer registered with DREI? And I think you agree with me on that.
Definitely.
This is, again, for the protection of all buyers and investors. We have laws that were created specifically that caters to your safety. So you need to make sure that the developer is registered with DREI. You have to make sure that the project is registered with DREI. You want to make sure the project has an escrow account. You want to know what the escrow account number is, who is the escrow agent who is handling the escrow account. You want to make sure the developer has ownership of the land, of the plot on which the actual project is being constructed. You want to know, for example, how far is he in the construction level? What stage of construction has he reached? When is the handover of the project? Again, just kind of, going back to our initial discussion, you want to know if you're buying an off-plan, if your plan is to move into the property in a couple of years. So these are all things that you need to consider. I can't stress the importance of reading and asking for the SPA, which is the sales and purchase agreement that is usually signed between the developer and the buyer. And, this is a very, very important document. Every buyer has the right to read it. And of course, if you're not comfortable, or maybe you're not familiar with the terms and conditions of the SPA, feel free to seek legal advice.
Definitely. Some of these points that you mentioned may be, known to many people, but, newcomers to Dubai may not understand where do they get this information. So I would suggest, personally, I would suggest that they hire a real estate broker and really always try to get the expert advice. So again, there's a very important step that a buyer needs to look at, is choosing the appropriate company that will, agency or brokerage company that would help him.
Thank you so much for stressing that, to be honest, because again, there's just so much to know about, and who better to deal with but someone who is expert in that field. I mean, again, today when you're sick, you go to a doctor. You want to buy a property, you try to choose, of course, the best of the best, and same thing when buying for a property. I believe a registered broker is, of course, a certified registered broker, is really what you need to seek when you're trying to get advice on buying the property.
And today, let me just say one point, a couple of points actually about the Dubai real estate market. Number one, from whatever we've been discussing now, what transpires is that Dubai real estate market is very well regulated. RERA, Real Estate Regulatory Agency, regulates the market, and one of its main objectives is to promote Dubai as a safe, secure investment environment for real estate. Hence the registration of developers, escrow accounts, which is another, some people may not understand what an escrow account is. This is where all the money from investors goes into and is supposed to be used solely for the purposes of constructing that project, which protects the interests of the investors. That is one thing. On the other side, they are also regulating the stakeholders, namely developers. They are on the other side. You have the brokers who should be registered, should be licensed by Dubai, by RERA. So all this, should make an investor feel more safe.
Absolutely. And I honestly think, again, comparable or comparing to prior years when we didn't have laws, again, real estate market in Dubai, grew way too fast. And we didn't have the proper fundamentals, if I should say. But of course, we're way past that now. So yes, there are laws that protect you, investors, buyers. If you're not necessarily familiar with the process, there are lots of sources that you can actually utilize in order for you to get that knowledge. Visiting the Dubai Land Department building in DREI is a great place for you to get started. Again, if you seek knowledge, you can always come in. Open door policy available for anybody to come in and get the answers that they require. But as you suggested as well, dealing with an expert, certified, registered broker is always the best way to go about it. Absolutely.
Especially if this is your first time. If this is your first time, then yes, you can really. They will handhold,
guide you through the whole process. Yes.
Make things easier. Of course, provided you choose an experienced and a
which that can lead to a whole different discussion, right? Because again, experienced on the product, experience on the location, experience in terms of a number of years. I mean, that pretty much, I think we can do it in a different session. But for now, I hope we gave you a little bit of, what you need to look into, the factors that you should consider when you're buying off plan. And again, stay tuned for many more to come. Thank you.